So you're looking to move to Seattle, Washington, but you don't want to live right in the city of Seattle. You want the comfort and safety and schools and amenities that some of the other suburbs outside of Seattle offer. Well, in this video, I'm going to go over every single suburb outside of the city of Seattle and give you an idea of what it might be like to live there. And hopefully that'll provide some clarity on what the best location might be for you. So if that's the info that you're looking for, feel free to stay tuned and let's jump right into it. If you're new to the channel and like, watching videos on what it's like to live over here in Seattle and you're preparing for a move over here, feel free to subscribe to the channel here and hit that bell to get notifications whenever I put out a new video. I'm Bryce and I get reached out from people just like yourself that watch the videos here. People reach out to me every day via text, email, or call, asking questions, looking for help on moving over here. So if you're in that situation, if you're planning to make a move over to the Seattle metro area, I'd be more than happy to help you out. You can contact me here at my info on the screen. Like I said, you can call, text, or shoot me an email, and I'd be more than happy to make that move over to Seattle a little bit easier on you. But like I said, in today's video, I'm gonna go over, the suburbs, what it's like to live in Seattle Metro, but not actually in the city of Seattle. There are a lot of different suburbs outside of Seattle, so there's a lot of different choices. It can get confusing on what place offers what. So I'm hoping to clarify that a little bit further for you and make that decision a little bit easier. So in order to do that, I'm gonna jump into my computer here, jump on the map, and just take you around the Seattle metro area on the map and provide some clarity to you. So let's jump in there. All right, so we're in the map here in my computer. So you can see that we've got Seattle right here, right in the middle. So when we're talking about the Seattle metropolitan area as a whole, zooming out here a little bit more, you can see we've got a wide range of what we're talking about. So today on this video, I'm going to talk about from Tacoma down here all the way up to the Marysville area. So, we've got other spots on the west side here where you're taking a ferry to go over, and I can focus on those on other videos, but really I'm going to talk about the I-5 corridor and the I-405 corridor here in the Seattle metropolitan area. So Seattle metro area, it makes up 4 million plus people at this point, so it's a very large area spanning over 3 counties. So a lot of different suburbs and cities within these counties that you're probably considering when you're making a move over here. So to start this video, I'm going to just start on the north side up here in Marysville, and I'm going to work my way all the way down and just talk about all these different suburbs, what it might be like to live here. There's timestamps in this video, so if you want to skip forward to a specific location, you're more than welcome to do that. But just going to start at the north here and give you a good overview of what it might be like to live in these areas. So starting right up here in the Marysville area, like I mentioned, Marysville right here and Arlington right here. So these are the furthest north that I'm going to talk about. So Arlington up here is very popular for rural living. So if you're somebody that wants to live in a rural location, Arlington would likely be towards the top of your list. Now, Arlington is about 45 miles north of Seattle, so this isn't really a location that you may want to live if you're commuting into Seattle for work on a daily basis. This is going to be a tough commute. You're well over an hour, especially if you're going during peak rush hour times. It could take you an hour and a half each way to get to and from Seattle and Arlington. So this is not necessarily a commuter's location. This is, you work from home, you work somewhere on the north side where you're having to make, an easier commute. But Arlington is an area that's really growing a lot right now. You got the Smoky Point area right in here. This is what separates Arlington and Marysville, right in this area. So Smoky Point is where you've got a lot of your shopping. It's really been developing lately. So they've got a Costco there and a Walmart there. The high school is over there. There's restaurants, there's a Target. There's a lot of stuff here in the Smoky Point area. There's also a Amazon warehouse being built right now in this area. So it is building a lot. A lot is expanding out here. There's some new construction in this area. So if you're living here in Arlington, you've got everything that you need right here in Smoky Point. You've got the doctor's offices, you've got all the shopping that you need. So it's pretty self-sufficient. It is rural type living. There's a lot of availability for rural living. However, there's still options for that typical subdivision type of living. There's some townhomes in the Arlington area. So there's a wide mix, but what Arlington is known for the most is for kind of the rural living opportunity. So you've got Highway 9 right here. So Highway 9 runs on the east side of I-5. It is, you know, it's a 45 to 55 mile an hour highway, just depending exactly where you're at on Highway 9. But this is what takes you, another road that takes you through Arlington. So if you're somebody that's looking for rural opportunities, you're looking for acreage, you could find that here, specifically on the east side of Arlington, Arlington Heights and Tafton, and you go over to Oso up here along Highway 530. There are a lot of rural living options out there. Now, it's going to depend, of course, how far you want to be out. You know, do you want to be in a location that has no cell service? Then you can find that for sure. You can keep going down 530 here. There's plenty of locations with very, very spotty cell service. If you're wanting something like you want rural, you want 5 acres, you want 2 acres, whatever the case is, but you still want to make sure you have strong cell service, strong Wi-Fi, there's plenty and plenty of options like that here in the Arlington area. You can go up to Bryant and Pilchuck, even Smoky Point, Sylvana, and going out to the Stanwood area here. There's plenty of more rural, you know, acreage type properties out this way. So whether you want 1 acre, you want 5 acres, you want 20 acres, you can find all of that here in Arlington. And like I mentioned, you can find your typical subdivision living, you know, with an 8,000, 10,000 square foot lot, you know, a 2,000 square foot house. There's plenty of that here in Arlington. So the median price in Arlington right now, it's about $600,000. This has obviously gone up quickly, like every other suburb around this area, but that's what you're looking at right now for the Arlington area. So you move down south, you move into Marysville. Marysville is one of those areas that's really kind of been popping off over the last 5 to 10 years. There's a lot of new construction that has gone on in Marysville. So you've kind of got the main quote-unquote downtown Marysville area right in here. So you've got like a J.C. Penney, there's some restaurants, there's a lot of fast food right through here. You've got the new Quilceda Creek Casino right here. So this is kind of the downtown area right here with the post office and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, you'll find some multifamily type opportunities, duplexes and triplexes, and some apartment complexes, some condos kind of in this area. As you continue to go a little bit outside of the downtown area, you'll find a lot of neighborhoods in through here. So this is Cedar Crest Golf Course right here. I've golfed here. It's a great golf course, but there's a lot of neighborhoods all throughout here, right next to Cedar Crest Golf Course, that you can take advantage of when you're living over here. So I've got some good friends that live here right by the golf course. A lot of good neighborhoods in here. You can find homes that were built, you know, anywhere from the 70s to the early 2000s, you know, 1,600 to 2,500 square foot homes, 3 to 5 bedrooms, you know, your average size lot, you know, a big enough yard for the kids or dog or whoever to run around, fenced lot. So you're going to find a lot of that right in here. You're also going to find a lot of new construction. So homes, you know, subdivisions with, you know, 200, 300 homes that have been built, new construction with smaller lots. A lot of the new homes are going to have a bit smaller lots to them, so smaller backyards, but new construction, very popular places. So that is really what's been building out all through here, kind of by the Cedar Crest Golf Course, and then down south, there's a lot of it all the way through here, with new construction in the Marysville area. So this has been specifically close to this Walmart. This is kind of the main section where there's a lot of new construction in here. So that's what's been really going on. And there's a lot of people that have been moving to Marysville, take advantage of, you know, more affordable home prices compared to, you know, as you get further south to Seattle, the more expensive it gets. So there's a lot of people that have been taking advantage of those more affordable housing prices here in the Marysville area. Now, median home prices right now in Marysville are about $610,000. So very similar to what Arlington are, just a little bit more expensive because you're going a little bit further south. Also, what's here in Marysville, as you go up a little bit, is the Seattle Premium Outlets right here. So this is where my wife loves to go shopping. I don't know if I love to go shopping there all that much because I'm not a shopper, but my wife does, and a lot of people do. It's a great outlet mall, you know, an outdoor outlet mall. They've got the Adidas and the Nike outlets there, and a bunch of other ones. It's got a food court. There's a, you know, also a Walmart and a Home Depot, and Tulalip Casino is right here. That's the most popular, really, casino in this area, the largest one. So there's a lot in this, you know, Marysville and Arlington corridor for you to do a lot of shopping. All the stuff that you're going to need, golf courses, are all right up here. But as we move further south, I'm going to jump over the east side here, and I'm going to go to Lake Stevens. So this right here is Lake Stevens. This is actually where I live, so I love it. It's a great area. It is going to be a little bit more expensive than Marysville and Arlington. Median prices right now, you're looking right around $650,000, but it is set off I-5, so you don't have quite as much through traffic. However, when you're talking about living in Lake Stevens and commuting down, if you're somebody that's going to be working in Seattle, working in downtown Seattle, this is going to be a tough commute for you. Again, it's 35 miles from Lake Stevens down south to Seattle. So if you're going in rush hour, it's going to be tough. There's, you know, a couple ways that you can go if you're leaving Lake Stevens and going to Seattle. You can just take Highway 9 all the way down. It'll bring you down for a while and then merge you on to I-405. Or you can just go over here, what's called the trestle. So this is what we call the trestle right here. It's like a bridge. What's tough about the trestle is it's 2 lanes in each direction. So it gets pretty backed up in these rush hour times. There's a lot of people that have been moving here to Lake Stevens in the recent years. So large population growth and infrastructure that's getting, you know, relatively difficult. Now, this is a common theme with the entire Seattle metropolitan area with how many people, 4+ million people we have here. We've got traffic everywhere, so this isn't just a Lake Stevens problem. This is an everywhere problem. But just so you know, when you're leaving Lake Stevens, you're going to go over this road right here, which is called the Trestle, to get onto I-5 into Everett and then to head south to Seattle. So this is something that can definitely hang you up if you're commuting in the morning, going to Seattle for work. There's people that make this commute from Lake Stevens to Seattle. You know, you could be, without traffic, it's 40 minutes to Lake Stevens and Seattle. With traffic, you're talking an hour and 15, just depending on how traffic is that day, how bad it is. But what I love about Lake Stevens is you're right on the lake. There's some great parks. You've got Lundin Park right here. You've got Davies Beach. There's also North Cove Park right here on the north side of Lake Stevens in here with a boat launch. So these are great opportunities to go swimming at the lake, launch the boat, the jet skis, go tubing, go wakeboarding, water skiing. These parks have playgrounds, so bring the kids. They can play on the playground. They can go on the dock, jump off the dock and go swimming. You can go fishing. There's all sorts that you can do here in Lake Stevens. So we really love it. So like I mentioned, it's growing a lot right now. So there's a wide range of homes available here in Lake Stevens, but there's also a good amount of new construction going in. So the newest community right here is called Lennar. This is actually down the road from me. This is about 230 new homes going into the Lake Stevens area, new construction. So that's going on right there. As we scroll out here, if you can find some more rural opportunities in Lake Stevens as well out here. It's going to merge into another city called Snohomish out here, but there's plenty of rural opportunities in Lake Stevens as well. So if you want some rural, but you don't want to go as far as Arlington, like I just talked about, there are some options here in Lake Stevens for sure if you want some acreage property. That's definitely available here in the Lake Stevens area. And then on the west side of the lake here is where you've got all of your shopping and stuff, your Safeways, your Target, your Hagen. In terms of like, you know, doctor's offices and things like that, there's not a whole lot in Lake Stevens, so likely you're going to go over to Everett. This is a 10 to 20 minute drive from Lake Stevens to Everett, just depending exactly where you're going. So it's close, it's still convenient, it's not an issue. What we're really excited about here in Lake Stevens, a lot of us are very excited about, is the new Costco going in. So Costco is going in right here. This is where Costco is going to be going in. They're building it right now. It's supposed to be done in December of 2022. So actually of this year, Costco is supposed to be completed. So that's going to be really nice. There's Costco's in other surrounding cities, but it'll be nice to have one nice and close to home when you're living here in Lake Stevens. So scrolling out, like I mentioned, We've got Everett right here. So this is the trestle that connects Everett to Lake Stevens. So Everett is the largest downtown area north of Seattle. So it's got a large, older, kind of historic downtown area right in here. So along with having that historic downtown area, it's going to have some downtown problems. Now, it's not nearly as bad as what Seattle is. Seattle, you see, needles on the ground all the time, people defecating on the streets, a lot of homeless and tent sites. It's not anywhere to that level here in Everett, but you are going to see a little bit of that here and there. You're going to see some, some homeless on the side of the roads in some of these downtown Everett parts, but like I said, not nearly as bad as Seattle. So with having that kind of historic downtown here in North Everett, you have a lot of beautiful historic homes. So craftsman styles and colonial styles, whether that's an 800 square foot, 2-bedroom, just little house here in Everett, or whether that's a colonial style home that's 3,000 square feet right here along 529 that's overlooking the water and with beautiful views. So there's a wide range of options here in the north side of Everett, the downtown kind of Everett area, that you can take advantage of if you're looking to move into this area and you want kind of that more historic type home, that historic kind of lifestyle, and kind of what that type of home offers with that curb appeal and those different characteristics with that home. I'm actually selling a home right in here to a client right now. It's a 2-bedroom house, but it's got a basement looking to be finished, so it would turn into a 4-bedroom, 1,800 square foot house, right around $500,000 here in this area. So the median prices in Everett, are going to be right around the 600 to 620 range for your median home price in Everett. This is including the entire city of Everett. I mean, Everett expands out here. You've got that whole north side of Everett, like I mentioned, and then it comes all the way down here. So Everett is a very large area. Like I said, it's the largest city on the north side of Seattle. So it's got a big footprint to cover, a lot of different neighborhoods through here. As you stay closer to I-5 here, you've got a lot of multifamilies, like I said, and condos and some apartment complexes and things like that. There's plenty of great neighborhoods in here. Typically, the further north in Everett, you're going to have more of that historic kind of feel, the older homes, 1910, 1920, 1930s homes. As you start to move south into Everett, actually you've got hospital right here, I'll mention Providence. So this is going to be the largest hospital close to you with emergency room, all that kind of stuff. As you start to move south into Everett here, you'll start to see a little bit more newer homes. You'll see a lot of 70s and 80s and 90s type homes here in the View Ridge and the Glacier View and Pinehurst areas. All throughout here, you're going to see a lot of neighborhoods like that. As you go to the west side, Howarth Park and this whole side, you're going to have a lot of really nice homes with views over the Puget Sound. I mean, you've got absolutely stunning views, especially during sunsets and whatnot here on the west side of Everett with these homes here overlooking the Puget Sound. It's an absolutely beautiful place to be, and a lot of people love living there for that reason. Of course, homes with a view, you are going to pay more for it, but here in Everett, still a bit more of an affordable area than some of the areas south, closer to Seattle. As you go to the very south side of Everett here, this is the Everett Mall area, so this is where your majority of your shopping is going to be. Kind of that north side of Everett has some stuff, but not as much down here as the south side. So right in here, this is the Everett Mall. Now this is probably the most pathetic mall you'll ever lay your eyes on. It's not something that I would, say, hey, you're going to be relying on this every time you do back to school shopping or you need to go get new clothes for the season. This is probably not where you're going to go. There's a few stores here, but it's kind of a ghost town at times, and it always has been, even since I was a little kid. So there's other malls. I mentioned the Outlet Mall up north in Marysville. There's some other larger malls down south with more stores, but there are some options here, like a Rue 21 and a Burlington Coat Factory, and some of that kind of stuff is here. And on the same road here on Everett Mall Way, you've got the Target, you've got some outdoor stores, you've got the Walmart, you've got Winco and Costco over here as well. You've got the Fred Meyer. So there's a lot here in this kind of Everett Mall, South Everett area. In terms of your shopping. So Everett is very self-sustaining. If you're living in Everett, you likely wouldn't need to go outside of Everett for anything when it comes to shopping and doctor's offices and all that kind of stuff. The last part of Everett here I'm going to talk about is Painfield and Boeing. So if you're coming over here, you're taking a job at Boeing. I know that's a common thing for people moving over this way. Boeing obviously being, you know, an aerospace large plane manufacturer. It's right here. So it's just to the west side of this Everett Mall area. It's in South Everett. You've got Painfield, which is also an airport that has opened up for commercial flights here recently. It's not flying to a ton of different cities, but there are some options to take commercial flights out of Everett here. And then this is, of course, like I said, if you're going to be working at Boeing, you're going to be in this area. So scrolling back out here, before I continue down the I-5 corridor, I want to jump back to the east side over here and go to Snohomish. So Snohomish right here, it's just to the south of Lake Stevens that I just talked about. Lake Stevens right there. Snohomish, you're going to jump down here. Snohomish is known for kind of, again, rural living. What's really popular for Snohomish is people that work, you know, are taking some tech jobs on the east side, or any jobs kind of in Seattle, and they want some rural living opportunities, but they don't want to go so far north. Snohomish is about 30 miles northeast of the Seattle area. So, you know, the commute for a lot of people is doable. It's still a heavy traffic commute. You still could be, you know, taking an hour to get from Seattle to Snohomish, but a lot of people are willing to do that for what they can get in Snohomish, because there is a lot of rural opportunities to live. Need to get rid of that. I'm not sure what happened there, but there's a lot of rural opportunities to live here outside in the Snohomish area. So all throughout here, and you've got 3 lakes up here, which is a popular spot. I don't know what's happening with that. I need my pen here. So 3 lakes right there. You've got plenty of rural opportunity living all throughout here. You're also going to have some subdivisions, your typical standard lot sizes with 2,000, 3,000 square foot houses. So there's plenty of that here in Snohomish as well. And then the cool thing about Snohomish is the historic downtown area. So this is one of my favorite kind of historic downtown areas. Right through here, you can see it right here, historic downtown. So there's a lot of great restaurants and bars and little local shops, local businesses here through downtown Snohomish. We were just here 2 nights ago having dinner with some friends. So it's a really cool spot to come, whether it's on a nighttime, you know, you want to go to some bars, get some food, or even on a nice, you know, sunny weekend day, walk all downtown Snohomish here and check out the local shops and what they have to offer. There's a lot of stuff that my wife likes, like, you know, the boutiques and the little, there's like a toddler, baby, children's boutique, and a lot of women's and men's, you know, clothing options, boutiques around there. So a lot of that stuff. You've got the high school down here as well. Snohomish is becoming very popular, and because of that, it is becoming pretty expensive. You know, the median home price here in Snohomish right now is just under $950,000. So this is going to be kind of your most expensive spot on the north side. But you can get, you know, again, there's historic homes down here. If you aren't looking for rural opportunities, you're not looking for something brand new, you can find some historic homes down here, you know, closer to the 650, 750 range, if that's something that you're looking for. The last thing I'll mention about Snohomish is it's very popular for, you know, rural activities. When I say that, I mean pumpkin patches and corn mazes. You've got a lot of wedding venues here in Snohomish. This is where my wife and I got married, at one of these wedding venues, and where the majority of our friends seem to be getting married is any of these wedding venues through Snohomish. So there's a lot of options here for that kind of stuff in the Snohomish area. So let's scroll back out. Let's go back to the I-5 corridor here, and I'm just going to talk about this last area, 2 areas here. So I'm going to talk about this kind of Lynnwood, Mountlake Terrace, and Martha Lake Mill Creek area right in here. So this is just south of Everett. This is, you know, again, it's kind of popping off, getting really popular just now. Proximity to Seattle, I mean, you're talking 15 miles to Seattle. You've got Seattle right down here, and it's becoming, you know, a popular place for people that are commuting into Seattle for work to live. So these areas, you know, your median home price is going to be right around $800,000, just depending exactly where you are in here. But there's some great spots through here to live. This is actually where I grew up. I grew up right here in Mountlake Terrace, Briar. This is where I'm from, but there's a lot of great places in here. Like I mentioned, shopping, there's a better mall down south. This is kind of the most popular mall on this side right in here. This is the Alderwood Mall right in here. So you've got, it's a very large mall, and outside of the mall you've got plenty of other stores, like you see the Whole Foods here, there's the Costco, so there's a lot of stuff in here. So Lynnwood itself, this is Lynnwood. Lynnwood itself is very, very self-sufficient. It's a large area, a lot of commercial options available here. You've got a few different high schools in this area, so Mountlake Terrace High School is right here, that's where I went to school. You've got Lynnwood High School in Lynnwood. And then there's other options here over in Bothell, but there's plenty of options, to live here in these areas. Like I mentioned, the median price is right around $800,000. So there's a lot of neighborhoods through here. You're going to find a lot of, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s homes, from single levels to split levels to 2 stories to 3 stories. There's a lot of different types of homes in these areas. You're not going to have the historic homes like some of the historic downtown areas I talked about on the further north side, but a lot of these years that I'm talking about here, again, you'll see Mountlake Terrace not going to have a ton of new construction. Briar is getting a little bit of new construction. Lynnwood has some new construction as well. So you can find some new construction in these areas for sure if that's something that you're looking for. Bothell kind of bleeds into Lynnwood here. Bothell's a really popular area. It's becoming very popular because of its proximity to Redmond. So Redmond down here, I'm not going to talk about Redmond quite yet, but Redmond down here is where Microsoft is. So for those people that are taking jobs at Microsoft, they are oftentimes moving to Bothell to get a little bit more for their money. The median price in Bothell now is very quickly approaching $1 million. It's just under $1 million. But there's a lot of great places to live here in Bothell as well. Some really good neighborhoods. You've got plenty of shopping. It's very self-sufficient as well. All your grocery shopping and doctor's offices and stuff you're going to need here in Bothell. There's trails to walk around. There's golf courses. So Bothell is a really nice area as well. Zooming back out here, before we get down closer to Seattle, I want to talk about Edmonds. Edmonds is one of my favorite locations. So Edmonds has got a kind of a downtown area right in the heart of, right by the water, right by the Puget Sound. So you've got downtown Edmonds and Main Street right in here, the Bowl. So it's a really, really cool area to go on a weekend or any nice day and walk around. There's restaurants down here. There's some little stores, some little local businesses. There's a very artsy scene down here as well. Salt and Iron's a really good restaurant we've been to many, many times. And the beach down here. So you've got a few different options if you're wanting to hang out on the beach down here. You've got Brackett's Landing. This is actually where I proposed to my wife right here, is right on Brackett's Landing. You've got the ferry terminal right there. As you go down the road, you've got some good restaurants like Arnie's and Anthony's, seafood places. You've got the Yacht Club. You've got Marina Beach Park. There's a playground there, a grassy area to throw the frisbee or something. And then you've got, right next to it, you've got the dog park. So it's a really cool off-leash dog park where the dogs can go swim in the water, run around the sand off-leash. So it's a really, really cool spot for that. Downtown Edmonds here, you've got some condos options. So if you want a condo overlooking the Puget Sound with absolutely gorgeous views, you can find that here. There are homes here in Edmonds, in the Bowl of Edmonds, some older homes. You've got some 40s and 50s and 60s builds with beautiful, beautiful sweeping views of the Puget Sound. You've got the Edmonds-Kingston Ferry here, so you can take that over to Whidbey Island, over to Kingston, and do a day trip over there if that's something that you'd want to do, over to Kingston here, and you can take a day trip over. So Edmonds is a really cool area, both to live and to visit. If I were to move down kind of in this general area, just north of Seattle, Edmonds would be one of my top considerations. It's a really nice area. There's some great parks around here as well, and then it bleeds into Lynnwood, where you've got a lot of the shopping, like grocery stores and the Costco's and all that kind of stuff. So Edmonds is a great area. You've got the high school as well. Edmonds Woodway High School is what's here. So plenty of options for living. You got neighborhoods all throughout here on the further east side of Edmonds as well, and it's convenient access to Seattle. So if you're somebody that's going to be commuting to Seattle, you're going to leave Edmonds and you're just going to go down I-5 and you're going to jump right into Seattle. It's a relatively easy commute. I mean, you're talking 20-25 minutes without traffic, 30 to 45 with traffic, but it's definitely a doable commute. So there's a lot of people that work in Seattle and live up here in Edmonds. So I'm gonna go down into Seattle here, talk about Seattle a little bit, and then move on. I'm not gonna go super deep into Seattle because this video is not about Seattle. It's about some of the suburbs. So I'm just gonna point out you've got some options here in Seattle, like Northgate on the north side of Seattle and Lake City. But this is just kind of where a lot of you may be working, which is what I want to point out, is if you're taking, some of you that are taking like a tech job in Seattle or something like that, South Lake Union is right here. So this is where Amazon is headquartered. There's a lot of companies here in the South Lake Union area. So if that's you, if that sounds like something you're coming over for, is taking a job around there, this is right about where you're going to be. And then you've got the Space Needle over here. So it's right in the middle of Seattle. So what I want to talk about, one of the most popular areas for those of you that have contacted me from YouTube that are moving over here, the most popular area that you guys ask me about is right here. So this is the East Side, all throughout here. So we've got cities like Kirkland, and we've got Redmond, and we've got Bellevue, we've got Issaquah down here, and we've got Sammamish. So this group of 5 cities, and we can throw in Woodinville. Woodinville's right up here. These cities are very, very popular for those of you that are moving over here, contacting me from YouTube. Big reason for that is, one, the jobs. So a lot of you are coming over here taking new jobs, whether that's a Microsoft or an Amazon or a Facebook or Google. All of those companies have offices here in the Eastside area. Google has offices in Kirkland. Microsoft is in Redmond. There's Facebook offices in Redmond. In Bellevue, you've got some Amazon offices. There's a lot of different tech companies in Bellevue as well. Some smaller tech companies that wouldn't necessarily come to mind, but there's a lot of job opportunities here in the East Side. Now, this East Side, because of that, is going to be the most expensive place to live. I mean, you've got median prices anywhere from Woodinville right up here is about 1.3 million. Then as you get into Kirkland, Redmond, Bellevue, you're talking 1.6, 1.7 million, and that continues over to Issaquah and Sammamish here. So expensive places to live. So along with this, there's a lot of new construction. There's a lot of luxury homes here in the Kirkland, Bellevue, Redmond area. So if you're looking for, a $3 to $4 to $5 to $6 to $7 million house with, views, maybe no views, but new construction, 4,000, 5,000 square feet, 4, 5, 6 bedrooms, anything like that, you can find that here in the Eastside area. It's very popular for luxury living. There's other options as well, closer to 1.3 million, 1.5 million, 2 million, that are some older homes, still 3 to 4 bedroom homes, a lot of great neighborhoods through here. But this is a very beautiful area. Kirkland here, you've got the waterfront down here, a lot of different parks throughout the East Side here. So great places to be, great places to hang out on the water. If you want to go swimming or you want to take out the boat or the jet skis, you can do that through all these locations around here. Redmond over here is the furthest inland, further than Kirkland and Bellevue right here. So you don't have as quick access to the water, but you can take Redmond to Kirkland here. It's about 10-15 minutes, so that's not difficult at all. Right here, you've got Marymore Park. This is a very popular park for people to be going to. There's an off-leash dog park right here. They do a lot of events here. So Cirque du Soleil, I know, was here recently. They've got movie in the park night, so they'll get a projector screen and play movies, and you can sit on the lawn. They've got an off-leash dog park. There's soccer fields and different sports events that go on here at Marymore Park. So it's a cool area. Redmond's got a downtown area very close as well, with restaurants and some bars. A little bit more slower pace in Redmond than it is over further west as you get to Bellevue. Bellevue right here is where you've got kind of the downtown area. So this is Bellevue Town Square right here. So this is another mall. So if you're doing shopping, this might be a location that you go. It's a great mall, a big mall. There's a lot of restaurants as well outside along the street here. You've got bars, so there's a good nightlife scene down here in Bellevue. So a lot of options. Bellevue is very self-sufficient. You've got the hospital right here, very well-rated hospital, and Whole Foods and all that kind of stuff. So Bellevue is a very urban area. There's plenty of great neighborhoods as well. As you're on the north side, Clyde Hill and Medina are two of the most expensive places to live in the entire state. They've got some great views of Lake Washington, some large homes, a lot of luxury living. So one of the most expensive places to live in this area. But as you go through to you know, further south in Bellevue, and you got the crossroads, there's plenty of neighborhoods in here as well that are a little bit more affordable. You know, more affordable, I'm talking, you know, 1.3 million to 2 million, 2.5 million homes in that range in here. But plenty of neighborhoods through here, and you've got golf courses and parks all throughout Bellevue. So it's a very, very beautiful area. Down here is T-Mobile headquarters. So if you're coming over taking a job for T-Mobile, you're going to be on the south side of Bellevue there. And then to get from Bellevue to, I mentioned, Issaquah and Sammamish, you're going to take I-90 here. This is I-90, and you're going to jump over here to Issaquah and then jump up to Sammamish. So if that's a location that you're considering, to, you know, we also consider this the Eastside, two very popular locations, same, you know, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7 kind of price point is what you're going to be looking at for median homes here in these areas. You're right on Lake Sammamish, so there's places to go swimming, parks to hang out at, launch the boat again, do things like that. These are, you know, some great areas, some great neighborhoods to live in. The common theme as I zoom out here with the entire East Side area, another reason why a lot of people want to live here is the school districts. You look at great schools, or you look at niche.com, this is the highest rated area when it comes to those school districts. So that brings in a lot of people that want to specifically live in these areas to put their kids in these schools. So that's part of the reason why so many people call me here from YouTube wanting to move over here, and they want to settle in one of these areas. You know, you're going to pay the premium for that. When I mentioned these median home prices, well over $1 million, closer to $2 million at this point. But great jobs, great schools, lots to do, clean neighborhoods, great homes, safe areas. This is just, the East Side is an absolutely beautiful area, but it's not in everybody's budget. So there's plenty of great suburbs that I have mentioned outside of this East Side area as well. So I'm going to continue to go down south here, talk about a few more areas. I know this video is getting really long, so I'm just going to talk about a few more areas here. So another popular spot here is Maple Valley. Reason Maple Valley is getting very popular is those that had wanted to live on the east side that I just talked about, the Issaquah, Sammamish, Bellevue kind of areas, but can no longer afford it because it is so expensive. So a lot have now come down to Maple Valley. Maple Valley is growing a lot right now. Median home price is still on only $725,000, but there's a lot of new construction that has gone on in Maple Valley over the last 5 to 10 years. A lot of people have been deciding to move over there, and along with that, the reason why people are choosing this area is because it's got a very highly rated school as well, kind of competing with those East Side schools. So it's got newer schools, so it's very, very popular for people to be moving to. Maple Valley's not, you're not going to have as many restaurants and nightlife scene, anything like that you have on the East Side. This is going to be, you're going to feel like you're living further out. This is going to be a very like suburban type feel versus the East Side is a little bit more urban type feel with definitely, you know, subdivisions, suburban type neighborhoods, but you're not going to get much of an urban feel at all here in the Maple Valley area. You've got your shopping like your Safeway and your Fred Meyer's, all your grocery stores down here. You've got a Walmart over here. So it's, Maple Valley is a beautiful area. It's growing a lot, like I said. There's parks, there's a lake right here, Lake Wilderness. It gets pretty busy when it's nice out. So, you know, Maple Valley is an area that is, like I mentioned, is very popular, growing very fast. And again, this is one of the most common areas people are asking me about when they contact me here from YouTube and are moving over this way. So, scrolling back out, I'm just going to go over the west side here, and I'm just going to talk about the last part of the I-5 corridor through here. You've got the Seatac in Des Moines and Federal Way in Kent. You've got Renton up here as well. So this is getting into your kind of more affordable living, kind of your cheaper areas of Seattle. You know, median home prices in these cities anywhere from, you know, $525 to $650 really through here is going to be the majority of your median home prices in these areas. So again, it's going to feel like a busy area. It's not going to feel, it's going to feel very different from the East Side in Maple Valley, where it's, you know, where those areas are a bit more quiet, not as much of a hustle and bustle. Still popular, but they're not right along the freeway. There's not as much, cheaper housing options like condos and apartments and things like that, versus here on this I-5 corridor south of Seattle, you're going to have a lot of that. You're going to have a lot of condo complexes and apartment complexes, duplexes and triplexes and fourplexes and all that kind of stuff. There's going to be a lot of that through here. You've got the airport here in Seatac right here. So if you're flying into Seattle, this is where you're going to come in. So some people choose to live down this area so they're convenient access to the airport, but it is going to be a very different feel versus some of the spots north of Seattle I talked about and the east side. This is going to be a bit of a different feel. And then as you come down I-5 here, the last city we're going to talk about is Tacoma right here. So Tacoma is popular. It's a very large area all throughout here as well. There's a lot of people that have moved to Tacoma, a lot of people that have gotten pushed out of Seattle because of the home prices that have now come to Tacoma. So Tacoma is the cheapest area to live on this list. The median home price right now is about $455,000. So Tacoma's got kind of a historic, feel to it as well in parts. There's some older homes through here. There's a lot of homes that have, just kind of been beat up and left, and kind of eyesores in some of these areas. And then there's other neighborhoods, historic neighborhoods with some, beautiful older craftsman homes that have been remodeled and kept up and look really nice. So, a lot to offer here in a lot of different home types here in the Tacoma area. The north end is kind of where you're going to see some more of those historic homes and whatnot. And then you'll have, as you get outside further south and to the east, you'll have some other neighborhoods as well with some newer homes, 60s, 70s, 80s, up to early 2000s types homes as well. And then you've got the Tacoma Mall through here and all of your shopping. So Tacoma is a very big area, very self-sufficient. Again, it's going to have that similar feel on the I-5 corridor. Cheaper housing opportunities. It's not going to feel like some of the more expensive places in the Seattle suburbs. So again, it's going to depend what your budget is looking at. You're going to have to consider commute times. All right, well, this wraps up my video on, living in the Seattle suburbs, but not living in the city of Seattle. So if this was helpful for you, like I said, feel free to like the video here, be greatly appreciated, and feel free to subscribe to the channel so you can catch future videos on what it's like living over here in Seattle. Like I mentioned, I help people out all the time that are moving over this way, so feel free to contact me here at my info on the screen, and I'd be more than happy to assist you with that. But I appreciate you watching this video.